Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself Suprit, and this is the Monday Night Raw review for 11th May 2020. If this is your first time on the channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. We here in Slamhub Wrestling cover all pro wrestling related stuff, including reviews for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and New Japan as well. We also have a flagship podcast called the Slamhub Wrestling Podcast, dropping every week. So I'm joined by Abhishek Aneja, aka Abby Maniac. What's up, Abby?
I am fine, Suprit. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Last time we also had the conversation last week regarding WWE Raw.
Yes.
Yes, I guess this week it was a better show, I guess.
At a emotional standpoint, yes.
hmm
The rest of the things was as usual the same thing. So before we talk Raw, I wanted to get your thoughts on Money in the Bank. What did you think about the show?
uh, it is a rather maybe not my place to say, because the thing is that I have uh, I was a little bit preoccupied last last night, yesterday. So I have only watched Money in the Bank match, which had the women's and the men's both. So it was a lot of chaos, and chaos made for a lot of fun. So it was a great match because, in my opinion, it was short and edited, and it had cameos of people, and then the food fight and many things happened in the match. It was fun. It was not supposed to be a wrestling match, but in the end, whatever happened, Otis won the Money in the Bank men's, and Asuka won the women's Money in the Bank. And on Raw, we got a little bit more about that, what was inside the women's Money in the Bank briefcase.
Let's talk about it then.
hmm So,
So
what did you think of the pay-per-view?
for me, it was a below average pay-per-view. The only thing interesting was the Money in the Bank match, like you said, and I also liked the WWE title match, which I will rewatch.
hmm
The rest of the stuff was just for time pass, nothing interesting.
hmm
So that's my take
I
on Money in the Bank.
hmm I also watched Money in the Bank match only because that of the reason that I read the comments online regards to the match, that it was a very good match. So that is why I took time out for watching the match. And also I read about the people getting triggered regarding that AJ Styles didn't won, the fan favorite didn't win the match, and Otis won. There is also many things behind that, that why didn't he won and why did he won.
How
And
how
it
how,
also,
how about we save the Otis stuff for a SmackDown review?
Otis stuff for SmackDown review.
Yeah.
That is also good.
So let's quickly get into Raw then.
Okay.
So show kicks off with the man Becky Lynch returning. She also had a big announcement. She came out holding the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. She told WWE to raise the stake of the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then she start, then she starts talking about her accomplishments and starts crying. Asuka interrupts and she is pissed. Becky explains the situation and opens the briefcase to reveal the Raw Women's Championship inside. She says, Asuka, you are the new Raw Women's Champion. Asuka couldn't believe this and she started celebrating. Becky then says, you go be a warrior, while she goes and becomes a mother. Asuka's reaction was priceless. So, thoughts on this?
It was a wonderful moment for Becky Lynch, and it also had a sweet synchronicity with me. I am more into the spiritual things in my life, so I am very much wearing the WWE shop the man T-shirt from the past 2 days, and
Yes.
it sort of happened that a big thing regarding Becky Lynch happened today. Yesterday, there was the preview was there that regarding that there is a career announcement regarding Becky Lynch. So I thought that the first thought in my mind was that she would be relinquishing the belt due to movie obligations. Because there were news regarding that she would be doing a Marvel movie. She has been offered such, and she has been attracting interest from Hollywood. So she might be going to do movie commitments, and a new champion would be crowned in the near future. Either it would be Asuka or Shayna Baszler. This is what uh, just came in my mind. So, but what happened that she is going to be a mother, that things which happened, and the execution of the announcement, that was very, very sweet, and it was brilliant in my opinion. And Asuka winning the Money in the Bank briefcase was also, in my opinion, Becky Lynch made the push for it backstage, in my opinion, because she appeared a few weeks ago on WWE Backstage, the show, when she was in a feud with Asuka, and she said that my goal is to push and to elevate Asuka and put her on the map, so to speak, so that the masses also accept her. And Asuka is such a great athlete that she deserves that spotlight, to be in that spotlight basically. And and Asuka is on the spotlight. You have been seeing her doing promos and on commentary, her shenanigans. Asuka is the main attraction of the women's division right now, in my opinion. She has been doing such things, doing promos in Japanese. In some shape or form, she is there. She is on your mind. And Asuka, in my opinion, also deserved it.
But back to earth. Don't you think they wasted Asuka's cash in? Maybe they should have done a tournament to crown a new champion.
They could have done that. They could have done that. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. You have to accept the fact, and it did what it did.
So that was that then.
Yes.
So after this segment, so Becky was getting congratulated by the locker room and also Vince McMahon at one point. So
Okay.
first match of the night was Humberto Carrillo versus Bobby Lashley in a no DQ match. So this was result of what happened last week in that gauntlet match. So this match went 8 minutes. Lashley dominated the most part until Carrillo got some offense when he used a steel chair. Back in the ring, Lashley locks in a full Nelson to get a submission victory, and that was it. This was a nothing. This was a nothing match just to build up Lashley back up as a legit guy. By the way, Humberto Carrillo, he sucks.
Yes. Yes. You also said in the our last podcast, yes,
Yes.
that he is not a good baby face, and he is not getting the uh, you can say consistent booking, so to speak. So he didn't win this match. So why was he given such a great showing in the gauntlet match? Umberto Carrillo, we are talking about. Why was he given such a great showing when next week he is being put down by Bobby Lashley in 8 minutes. Was there a credible threat of Umberto Carrillo? Was he given like a thing that he was a big threat in this match? Because the purpose of this match, in my opinion, was Bobby Lashley, not Umberto Carrillo. Am I wrong or am I right?
Yeah, Lashley was the main thing here.
Lashley was the main thing here. So Umberto Carrillo is not their priority at the moment. Last week, he was there only for Bobby Lashley to be doing what he did this week. This is what their end game was. Okay, it is what it is. So now their main focus is to build up Bobby Lashley as a legit star, as a legit threat. So it is good, it is going good. But for Carrillo, who was once portrayed as a future United States champion who was about to get a big push, and now he is nowhere near. It is what it is. Whatever. It is
So,
sad for Carrillo.
yeah, they have been doing the same experiment for the last, I don't know, since November 2019.
Now, what can we do? Now, the only thing it is that they would be having matches with Lashley and Roberto Carrillo for the next few weeks in some shape or form. That is what we can see.
Maybe.
And but only to build Bobby Lashley. Building Bobby Lashley as a threat, as a big, villain, as a big threat. It is now the main focus. With Brock Lesnar being on a part-time schedule, now you want to build a Brock Lesnar-esque person. So you have in that Bobby Lashley, and Paul Heyman is also now thinking for him. So it is good.
I think we will be getting that Lashley Lesnar match at SummerSlam.
It would be good, but you have to build him like that. Now they are thinking about it, so it's good. Now build towards that. And Lashley has also shown interest in that match. Now, who wouldn't show interest in fighting Brock Lesnar, the biggest box office attraction of
That's the main
professional
reason.
wrestling?
That's the main reason. Sorry to cut you off, but that's the main reason he came back to WWE just to face Lesnar.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it would be. It would be.
So moving
So,
on, we'll be getting a basketball match. You heard me right. A basketball match between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. That's later on. So we had Angel Garza versus Akira Tozawa. Before this began, so the Zelina Vega stable started having a heated argument, which means this stable is already breaking up.
mm,
So, so the match I said between Akira Tozawa and Angel Garza went 3 minutes. It was a very one-sided match with Garza trash talking Austin Theory. Garza got the win after hitting a wing clipper, and that was it. Yet again, Akira Tozawa is a jobber match on Raw while also killing it on NXT on the same week. Stupid narrative, if you ask me. What about you?
yes, it is a stupid narrative, but the thing is now it is a parallel universe for him. That is a universe for the that is what maybe they think, or maybe they think what the fans' perspective is that for Raw, it is the masses, and for NXT, it is the hardcore uh, fans. So it is just two parallel universes. They do not exist in the same paradigm, in the same dimension. So what it happens in NXT, it doesn't matter on Raw. What happens on Raw, it doesn't matter in NXT. it only matters if the champion comes there. Other than that, whatever happens in storylines or somewhere else, it doesn't matter. Yes, it is a stupid narrative because it should matter that when a superstar from NXT is coming to your brand, now you are saying that NXT is your third brand, it is not a developmental brand. So you should give your talent the utmost respect. If you are getting them on Raw, you should give them the utmost respect, and you should also book them in such a way that their character on their respective brand should not be hampered. And then the people should not complain regarding that as you said, that he's killing it on NXT and then on Monday Night Raw he's getting buried in a jobber in a squash match used as an enhancement talent.
They can use some other like Leon Ruff or a new WWE PC recruit.
Yes, they can. I agree with
So,
you.
yeah. So post match, all three guys started continuing their argument until Drew McIntyre came out. So he claimed out both Garza and Theory until we get a stare down between him and Andrade, which led to a match. And I'm like, didn't we see this same match 2 weeks ago?
Hmm.
So like the stable is already dead, you're making the US title more irrelevant along with Andrade.
Hmm.
Speaking of the match was decent though. Andrade was actually working on the injured arm of McIntyre until McIntyre made a comeback, hit a claymore, and got the win. Thoughts?
It's, in my opinion, it was a good match. As you said that Andrade was very intense and he was targeting the arm for his finisher, the hammerlock DDT.
Yep.
And I am not uh, following the product as intensely as the other people are. So I didn't know the fact that this match has happened 2 weeks ago. This is news to me, what you said, because I thought that this is happening very out of the blue, that a champion versus champion match is happening. So it is very good. So if this has happened 2 weeks ago, this goes uh, out of the way, that you are having a repetitive match, because I thought that this is a NXT rivalry getting renewed, that Andrade and McIntyre are having a match, two great wrestlers having a match. Andrade won the championship at NXT from him, so it makes a good match. And if this happened 2 weeks ago, so what
That's
the
why
hell?
that's why the topic came that Zelina's new stable is getting buried.
Well, so, and in the last podcast that we talked about, that there, if you are building a stable, or if you have a stable in the first place, you should build them as a threat. We talked about that, and now they are just dissipating the said stable. So what the f is happening? What the fuck is happening? So now you are dissipating that
You go.
stable.
So McIntyre cut a post-match promo saying he loves having a Claymore party. He talks about his match with Rollins and says line them all up. He then talks about the brand-to-brand invitational, and a certain SmackDown star has challenged him to a match next week, and it's none other than King Corbin. So WWE has brought back the wild card rule, this time a light version.
In my opinion, Corbin is a good choice that for McIntyre to get established as a good baby face, because Corbin is an established villain. Everybody hates him for his look and for the way he talks, and he gets everybody pissed off. So it is a great choice for getting Corbin from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw. He would be on Raw for the foreseeable future. We don't know. We
This is
don't
a
know.
wild card rule, by the way.
It is a wild card rule. That is their company. They can do whatever they want. Because now the thing is, now Becky Lynch is gone. Now Roman Reigns is gone. AJ Styles is also in the midst of being dead or undead and being haunted by Undertaker and in a part-time sort of schedule. So you have to make changes and you have to think that how can you make your current champions legit? How can you make them legit in the eyes of the masses? So you have to get established villains, established threats to challenge them and then make them stars. So that's why they went with Corbin. It is a good choice. Yes, he is on the other brand. It looks illogical. I completely agree with you. It looks like a wild card rule. I agree with you, but the fact is they are in a bad place regarding Becky Lynch, regarding Roman Reigns. Two of their top attractions are now gone. AJ Styles is also gone or whatever. He's in a part-time schedule. He is also gone. They have to rely on Edge, Randy Orton, and they have to make their present stars more legit. So they went with Corbin now. Let's see what happens.
I don't know if you seen what happened in 2019. The wild card rule is not good at all. It's not good at all. It's not good for the WWE programming.
Yes, it was a joke. I agree with you. I agree with you. It was not good, but the thing is now they went and they brought up one guy from there only to use him for McIntyre to get legitimacy being a baby face. Because Seth Rollins is done with McIntyre, they would not be going for another loss for Seth Rollins. It would hurt his character, the character of Seth Rollins. So they would have to go with another opponent. They could not go straight to Jinder Mahal. They would have to build a story. They
It's
have to
coming. It's
build some.
coming. It's
Hmm.
coming.
Yes, it is coming. The
Yes.
the interview gave the hint. The
Yes.
interview of Jinder Mahal,
Yeah.
it also gave a hint.
So we'll get to Jinder Mahal. Before that, we had the moment of bliss. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross were there with two big surprise guests that were the Iconics.
Iconic.
Yes, yes, yes. At one time, all four women started talking about Becky Lynch, and this led to an argument, which led to a match. This went 5 minutes. The Iconics win, and that's all, folks.
In my opinion, Iconics are highly entertaining. They are highly irritating for many people. But it is great for television to have quote unquote villains, that having people that you hate because their accent is such that many people hate them, and they also try to accentuate that accent and they try to scream so that uh, people hate them. But the thing is that they are entertaining in their own way. So having them on television after so much of time, it is very refreshing and it is good.
Their
And
thing is
them,
that their thing is
Mhm.
that they are also entertaining and also boring at the same time.
Boring in what way?
Like yes, it's not interesting at all. I will go for a piss break, something like that.
You will go for a piss break because you have not booked them in such a way that they are threats, or you find them irritating, so
Yes,
you do not want to watch them. But the
yes,
thing is that as villains, as being people who piss other people off. They are doing their job well. The job being getting people to hate them. That is what a heel is. That is what a villain is. So getting the win this time after so much of being absent on television, getting a win gives them legitimacy, and now they are getting a title match next week. And now with also Becky Lynch being gone, you need to test and drive everyone so that who can be the next person who can grab the Vincent K. McMahon's imaginary brass ring. So let's see that who can be the next woman who can be a star in the near future. And also you need the tag team titles to be defended. You cannot have champions just like that they are champions and they will not be defending the belt. They would not be on television. They should come on television every other week to have a presence. They should not have a match, or they should not have being defending the title every other week, but they should have at least some presence. So it is good that they are having a title match next week against the Australian duo of Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, the Iconics. So that's good.
So we had a six-man tag team match: R-Truth, Ricochet, and Cedric Alexander versus MVP, Shane Thorne, and Brendan Wink. R-Truth was channeling his alter ego here that he calls Little Ricky, who has lazy eyes and a big teeth. So this was 4 minutes. R-Truth hit the lie detector on MVP and got the win here. Post match, Lashley arrives. Truth wasn't pleased with this. Lashley then takes out Truth with a spear. So we are getting a alliance between MVP and Lashley, which means bye bye Lana.
Yes, it is good. It is good. And now MVP and Bobby Lashley, they were also in each other's ears, and they were together at one point also in Impact Wrestling. So now MVP can be the one to talk, and Lashley can be the one to do the fighting. Just like Brock Lesnar, we are now anticipating Brock Lesnar versus Lashley maybe at SummerSlam. So it is a good way to build Lashley and the MVP alliance together. It is good. And I do not understand that there was news in the midst of the week that Wink is getting a push. There was some news. What happened to that?
Yeah, I also heard the same news that Vince is very high on Brendan Wink.
Hmm. So, uh, did he get enough offense, or was he booked as being quote unquote strong in this match, or it all just fizzled out after Money in the Bank? They all were too consumed with Becky Lynch. Uh,
I think since last week they are too high on this team, both Brendan Wink and Shane Thorne. So that's that.
mhm.
Jinder Mahal was in an interview segment. He also talked about McIntyre and how he was happy for him. So there's your match for Backlash.
Mhm. Backlash.
Yes,
Jinder
that's
Mahal.
yeah, go on.
Jinder Mahal versus.
McIntyre.
Mm.
It's not official,
And
but that's the fans' theory.
as the okay. And Backlash is in how much time?
It's coming June.
It's coming June. One
Yes,
month.
yes.
So will they be able to now build it now, because he is now uh, let's see because now in this week's edition of Raw he had a match with Andrade. So
I think they will
and
start to
now
build.
they are building for Corbin.
Yeah.
So let's see, because if he is uh, embroiled in a feud with Baron Corbin, then it would be Corbin and McIntyre for Backlash. They would not be going for Jinder Mahal for Backlash. But let's see if it is going to be Jinder Mahal versus McIntyre for Backlash, because it was Backlash when Jinder Mahal won the WWE Championship from Randy Orton at
Yes.
Chicago.
Yes.
So there is a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what WWE has up their sleeve regarding that.
So we had AJ Styles, who was seen sitting in a comfy chair with a popcorn in his hands to check out the new Undertaker documentary. But before it even began, he left with an angry mood as he didn't want none. See what I did there?
That was good.
So
That was.
moving on, Shayna was being interviewed to get her thoughts on the big news regarding Becky Lynch. Baszler actually buries Becky for relinquishing the title in this situation. Then we get the line of the night. She said, "The kid is gonna suck. You know who the father is." Thoughts on this promo?
uh, it is a now, as a badass villain, you cannot be, a very goody good shoes and say, "Oh my God, congratulations, Becky." You have to be in character. You have to say some shit regarding that good news which we got. So you have to say something. So she did, and she did. She also mentioned Rollins. Oh, it is great. It is great. Being a badass, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you won't be reprimanded for the same. She can even beat up Seth Rollins if she wants to, in my opinion.
So we had a tag team match: Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black versus Seth Rollins and I'm Not Your Buddy Murphy. So before this match, we had an interview segment with Mysterio where Rey Mysterio was in an interview segment where he talked about how he and Aleister Black survived from that fall at Money in the Bank. Then Seth Rollins came in to interrupt that interview segment. Mysterio then congratulated Rollins for the big news. Rollins didn't respond, and that was the end of the segment. So we get to this tag team match. Um, Rollins looked like the most depressing man on the earth. This was basically a handicap match with Rollins standing dead in the corner while Murphy was left alone. There came a point where Mysterio attacked Rollins, and that woke him up after 10 minutes of just standing there. Rollins went full crazy, poking the eye of Mysterio, which led to a DQ. Murphy then got rid of Black as Rollins then sent Mysterio's eye on the edge of the steel steps, and that was it.
Yes, it also, this whole thing added to the uh, Rollins being in such a state of mind that we cannot comprehend. So it is good that basically what happened at Money in the Bank, that after his loss, he was in such a shock, or he came to the realization that he shook the hand of McIntyre. Because now, if you are a villain or if you are a leader, you won't be doing that. This is not Ring of Honor. This is WWE. There was not a code of honor involved. This is not Tyler Black we are talking about. This is Seth Rollins. So it, in my opinion, it had to have an explanation behind that. So now on Monday Night Raw, we saw that now Rollins is out of his MFN mind, because his wife is having a child. and he has lost the biggest match. He was thinking about that he would get his WWE Championship back at Money in the Bank, and he has lost that too. So now he is in a sense of frenzy, basically. So it started with Black and Murphy. They can do it for fucking days. And Rollins was zoned out, as you said. He was zoned out. And then afterwards, Ray attacked first. Ray
Yes.
attacked first, and then Rollins, just like a rational person, maybe a rational person with an ego would do, he attacked back, but he attacked with such a, you can say, a vicious streak that he just poked the eye, and his eye was practically, it was bleeding, we
Yes.
saw. And it is a new, you can say, a new edge to the Rollins character, being the leader of his faction, that whatever that he is, he thinks in his mind. And now we would be looking forward to a feud of Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. And that's it. Rey and Seth Rollins, in the end, when he was going to the backstage area, we saw him with his hair, and he was looking like a possessed person, maybe just like the Christian Lord Jesus, the CrossFit Jesus
Yes.
Christ, in live and in living color. He was looking just like that. And maybe that was also their thinking behind, the producers thinking that he should look like that. Now he has maybe lost all his possessions, and now he is now out from the light. Maybe that is what is going on in his mind.
So that was not it. Mysterio was being examined in the back with a bloody eye, like you said. Alistair was nearby. Rollins and Murphy arrived, and this was the part I loved. So Rollins was acting all innocent, like nothing happened at all. This pissed off Alistair, and he brawled with Murphy while Rollins quietly escaped. Please, more of psychotic Seth Rollins, please.
Yes, indeed. Yes. He, maybe he also, like I said, he was possessed. So he didn't even know that what happened and what his body did at that time in retaliation. So maybe he doesn't realize that at what he has done. More of this, please. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And then we
This,
went to the basketball bit. Oh my God. Shit.
yeah, the Street Profits and Viking Raiders have a basketball match. The Raiders didn't know the rules of a basketball match, which led to the Profits dominating them and also winning. After the game, both teams congratulated each other until the Vikings say, "We actually allowed you guys to win." They were actually messing around, saying that, let me rephrase that, they were actually messing around. Ivar then showed his bowling skills, Michael Jordan style, and that's it. Entertaining segment, but sad that the tag team division is not that entertaining.
Is the thing about the Raw tag team titles and the tag team division was also accentuated and also told about by the revival, or I should say the revolt, on the recent podcast on Talk is Jericho about the tag team division and the state of the tag team division, that when they were given the belts and they were promised many things, but they declined to sign the WWE contract because they knew that they won't be working, or they won't be given an opportunity, a good and fair opportunity for the tag team championship, and tag team division would not be showcased and featured in a good, positive way. And now in this match, we saw the Vikings. what a bad situation. Now, first of all, I would like to say that maybe the basketball bit was a little bit inspired from rather a recent episode from Being the Elite, where the three brothers, Matt, Nick, and also there is another brother. They were playing basketball and they were doing other shenanigans as well. Maybe it was a little bit inspired from that. And now the thing that Vikings playing basketball with the Street Profits, it hurts their mystique and their aura of being badasses, and the culture of being Vikings that is going out of the window of Eric and Ivar. What did this segment even accomplish? What did this accomplish? Basically, were there any people who were laughing their, lungs out? Was that very funny?
No.
Because if it was, then it can qualify a little bit, but it hurts the characters of two of the most legit stars you have in your tag team division. Having them doing basketball shit on your flagship show, it hurts. It hurts. It also hurts the fans. It hurts their eyes. It hurts their brains. It hurts. And it hurts their characters too. How will now someone take them seriously when they are doing the handspring and they moonsault with their also big weights, and then they are doing basketball shit? How will someone take them seriously? They are badasses. Let them stay there, na? Street Profits could have gotten playing basketball with some other people. Why did you have them? Do not humanize the Viking Raiders. Do not humanize them. Same with Aleister Black. Having Aleister Black doing backstage interviews with Charlie Caruso, that hurts his character. He should have interviews with a camera only, in my humble opinion, because you are hurting his character, and by hurting his character you are doing a sin, that is that you will not be able to make him connect with the crowd, and then you will think that he does not have quote unquote it to connect with the audience.
So that was the take on the basketball match. So next up we had Shayna Baszler versus Natalia. Before this, Natalia confronted Baszler for comments. Bad idea, as Baszler commented, "What do you know about having kids? By the way, the Hart dynasty dies after you are gone. Shooting season is open thanks to Shayna Baszler."
That's a little below the belt, but I like it. I like it. Now if you are doing such a good, it is such good shit now. If you're going below the belt and being a badass, you can go away with anything you want.
So we get to the match. Both women were grappling until Baszler got better of the exchange. She hits a knee strike to get the win. So this is a perfect time to build back Shayna after messing her up at Mania.
Yes, it is a thing you can say. It was just a match. Yes, like you said, building Shayna Baszler, the new badass beats the gatekeeper veteran. That's it. For this match, it didn't have any future prospects in this match, but it did its job basically, and the main focus on the word being job.
Yes. So next week we'll have King Corbin versus Drew McIntyre and a women's tag team title match between Bliss and Cross versus the Iconics. So we get to the final segment, a confrontation between Edge and Randy Orton. Charlie Caruso was there hosting. Don't know why she had to be there.
Yeah.
So Edge talked about his match with Orton at Mania. He says that he says that that's all in the past and he wants to move on. Orton arrives and says, "You are the better man at Mania," and he leaves only to come back and go on a full rant saying that Edge has not been in a wrestling match, pure wrestling match since 2011, as the Royal Rumble and Last Man Standing match don't count actually. Orton added, "If you have grit, then I challenge you to a match at Backlash." Edge looked like he had doubts and didn't respond. Everything was going good until Charlie Caruso opened her mouth and said, "We could be seeing the greatest wrestling match at Backlash." Looks like looks like we have the next Dave Meltzer and Charlie Caruso.
That's the thing. They are trying their bit to get people in un- unwanted situations. Like I said with Alistair Black, you should not have a backstage interviewer there. In this case, also, you should not have had a backstage interview. But there would be a thing in their mind that a guilty conscience. A guilty conscience would be playing in their mind that we are having a person who is here in such a time where fear is engulfing our planet and a quote unquote virus is there and she is here. So we should have her interviewing people as many times as possible that she is at least happy to be doing her job and be happy that she is here and she is getting paid, and we should use her as much as possible. Maybe that would be in their mind, but they have done a bad thing. It was not necessary for her to be there, but they use her. That's besides the point. And now coming to Orton and Edge and their story, it is a good selling point. I should say brilliant storytelling with regards to Edge has the ring rust. That is why uh, he was booked in a, you can say, a no rules match at WrestleMania. He was booked as a precaution by WWE. They book in such matches so as to see that if they can perform in high situations, they have weapons in their arsenal so that they can use that at high points to get the reaction of the crowd sitting at home or there in audience. Now Randy Orton is using that now the stakes are higher. Now you have to be in a wrestling match in a squared circle for 15, 20, 30 minutes with moves, with exhaustion, with your wheels spinning in your head every single second, that what should I have to do? Do I have to apply an submission? Do I have to brawl at this point? There would be no weapons. So Orton is, he is known for wrestling. But Edge, in his initial years, he is known for his stuff regarding TLC matches, and only few people make him or think of him as being a wrestler. Many people do after the Ruthless Aggression era, being under the umbrella of Paul Heyman in SmackDown. Then he evolved as a wrestler. But still, people in their heads only have the edge heads, only have him as being a pioneer of TLC matches. So now we are thinking that does he have it? Can he give a 20-30 minutes wrestling match in such a time? After 11, after 10 years, after 9 years. So this is what the narrative of Randy Orton is, and it perfectly makes sense. It is not illogical, it is logical.
I
When you have a story which sounds logical, then you are able to invest in that.
I think it's WWE rewriting their mistake from Mania with these two. You know, they had this long match that kinda died,
Hmm.
so that could be the case, in my opinion.
Okay, but they now, why did they book them? Now I am saying, now what is their WWE is thinking would also be that in their first match they do not want to take any risk. No, that is my opinion. So that is why they thought that we should book them in such a match where it is easy to get the reaction of the crowd.
The
Where
problem is it went long.
yes, it went long because Edge also had in his mind to prove that he can go to the limit and beyond, that he still has it. Randy Orton and Edge both had to prove, they had in their heads that they still have it. They can still do the art of storytelling, only with the storytelling, not with the high flying moves. They can still do it with the atmosphere that they had. It was very difficult if you are doing yeah, that match that they did for the 10 count and they are going through the performance center and there were weapons, but they didn't know what to do with that. It would be very difficult. They took their time and they proved to many people, including themselves, that they can do it. But now this is now another thing, that now you have to do it only in a ring. It won't be very friendly. There won't be weapons being used. Now, how would you engage a crowd without weapons? That would be a big challenge. It is a challenge. Let's see.
So that was Raw.
Yes, that was Raw, 11th May 2020, from Slamhub Wrestling and from Abby Maniac.
So
Abhishek Aneja.
what did you think about this show?
What did I think about?
This show.
So, in my opinion, it was decent, but the main focus or the main thing that enveloped the whole show was indeed the Becky Lynch announcement.
Yes.
It was a decent show, in my opinion. It was a good show. Uh,
So where can this guys find you?
uh, the guys who are listening, they can find me on Instagram at ABBYMANIAC, at Abimaniac. On Twitter, you can find me at Abimaniac. You can watch the latest weekly episodes of the company, the promotion that I work for, Wrestle Square War, at youtube.com/Wrestle Square. I am the commentator and the acting general manager on screen for the said promotion, Wrestle Square.
You guys can find Slam Up Wrestling on Twitter at SlamUpW, Instagram at Slam Up Wrestling. Our podcast and reviews are mainly audio based, and if you don't want your YouTube app running for that, then you can catch Slam Up Wrestling on Anchor and Spotify as well. This was the Monday Night Raw review, and we'll see you guys next time.